The Sheridan Farmers Market is back for another great season on Grinnell Plaza with local produce, meat, eggs, coffee, baked goods, and outstanding locally handcrafted items. Every Thursday, 5 to 7 p.m., you can find the best our hardworking local producers have to offer. Special thanks to our season sponsor, First Federal Bank and Trust. See you Thursday on Grinnell Plaza at the Sheridan Farmers Market. And remember, please leave your pets at home.
Habitat for Humanity operations are relocating. This means Habitat Restore's having a huge sale through the end of August. Everything must go. They have way too much to move. Visit the Habitat Restore facility at 1141 Crook Street in Sheridan and take advantage of the awesome savings while they last and before they move. Habitat Restore, open Monday through Saturday from 9 to 5.
Preserve and tell stories of our local history at SCLT in Bloom, presented by Sheridan Media, September 10th at the Whitney Center for the Arts at Sheridan College. Learn about the 11,000-year-long history of Native Americans in Yellowstone with archaeologist and author Dr. Douglas McDonald. Enjoy cocktails, hors d'oeuvres, and desserts beginning at 6:30 p.m. Live and silent auction, shotgun raffle, paddle raise, and more at SCLT in Bloom, September 10th. RSVP at SheridanCLT.org.
This is Dr. Christopher Chamber, Medical Director at Sheridan Memorial Hospital's new primary care practice in downtown Sheridan. Our doctors, nurse practitioners, physician's assistants, and staff are excited to be open and ready to care for you and your entire family. We will continue to see our established patients for any medical problems, and we are accepting appointments for new patients, regardless of age. I encourage you to learn more by visiting SheridanPrimaryCare.org. Sheridan Memorial Hospital Primary Care, caring for you and your entire family.
This is Public Pulse, your information and conversation program, brought to you by Eliason Financial. You can voice your opinion by calling 672-KROE. That's 672-5763. Now, your host for Public Pulse, Floyd Whiting.
Good morning and welcome to Public Pulse. Now this morning I am joined by Impact 307 Sheridan Business Incubator Director Scout Rendell and Statewide Marketing Coordinator Jessica Madden. Good morning, Impact 307.
Good morning, Floyd.
Good morning.
Now remind us just exactly what Impact 307 is and what you do for the Sheridan community.
Sure. So Impact 307 is Wyoming's statewide business incubator network. We have incubators across the state. That list is expanding. In the last year, we have added operations in Rock Springs, in Lander, in Cody and Powell. But basically what we do is we work with startup and early stage businesses to help develop their business models and business plans to hopefully get them to launch and to start generating revenue. And we have a particular focus on getting entrepreneurs that have a growth orientation that can hire people and actually take root in the community and contribute to our economic development. And so the Sheridan community really depends on our incubator for launching a number of new businesses that help add to the job base here in Sheridan.
What is the origin of Impact 307 from the very beginning? Who came up with this idea?
So it used to be the Wyoming Technology Business Center. It started back in 2005 on the University of Wyoming campus. So in Laramie, they actually built a facility specifically designed to be an incubator. So they have a number of configurable office spaces. They have lab space for technologies and ideas that come out of the academic side. And so for several years, that was the incubator in Wyoming. In 2013, the program expanded to Casper, and then in 2015, there was a small incubator in Sheridan, but the university took it over in 2015, and it was the Wyoming Technology Business Center Sheridan area. So we've been in existence for about 17 years, and as I mentioned earlier, we've recently expanded to other portions of the state. So we are truly statewide now for the first time.
Do you happen to remember what that business incubator was before Impact 307 stepped in? And how successful were they? Do you remember? I mean, it was
locally
a while
here.
ago, yeah.
So the business incubator there's actually a facility that was built through a grant with the Wyoming Business Council. And initially Forward Sheridan, the organization, had run it for a few years. And Forward Sheridan had a lot of great attributes, but they did not have experience in running a startup business incubator. And so I think they had difficulty putting a program behind trying to help some of the entrepreneurs that we have here in the community. So we introduced Wyoming Technology Business Center and what they've been able to accomplish in Laramie and in Casper to that point. And the Sheridan local officials said, yeah, let's go ahead and put the university's program behind the incubator program.
And speaking of one of the programs, the Startup Challenge, this is a big one operated by Impact 307 Sheridan. Would you remind listeners what that Startup Challenge is?
So yes, we're back for our 6th annual startup competition. The Sheridan Startup Challenge really is designed to expand the entrepreneurial culture of Sheridan. So we're trying to get folks that have an idea for a product or a service that maybe haven't acted on it. And the challenge is sort of an incentive through the offering of seed funding for the winners to maybe get them off the couch or, to get them out of the starting blocks and actually moving forward on developing their idea. So the Startup Challenge is a competitive process. We get a number of applications each year. We have an independent judge panel that goes through all of the applications. And what they try to do is select the ones that they believe have the most promise of actually launching a business and growing within the community. So they will have a couple of rounds, application process. There's a semifinal process where the judges actually meet the semifinalists for the first time. And out of that process, which is usually about 10 business plans selected, they will select the top 5, and the top 5 actually go on and pitch at a public pitch event in November 1st this year at the WYO Theater.
Now, when exactly does that challenge start taking applications from possible entrepreneurs?
Well, actually, the application period opened on August 15th, and we are accepting applications all the way through September 19th.
Have you gotten a lot so far?
We've gotten a few. We've gotten some great ones.
I know you probably don't want to give any away, but some of these ideas looking pretty good?
Yeah. And, as far as applying, it's super simple. There's several ways to apply. You can go to sheridanmedia.com and apply there. You could also go to our website, which is impact307.org, and go to Startup Challenges, select Sheridan Startup Challenge, and you can apply quick and easily there. We are also on social media, so there's links to apply on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and Instagram.
Now, do I need to have like a business plan laid out or a summary? What do I need when I apply?
Well, actually, you just need a few basic ideas or details about your business idea or product, and also like your intended market, like who your ideal customer would be. You don't necessarily need a business plan. That's what Scott is for. He actually will meet with people even prior to filling out the application just to make sure that their application stands out, and he can give them advice, when it comes to applying, as well as business counseling in the interim.
So I don't need to have all this stuff in front of me. When I sit down to fill out my application, I can just have a great idea, know who I want to sell it to, and go from there.
Absolutely, yes.
So that sounds pretty good. Because, in a lot of different places, people want like a business model. How are we going to get from A to Z, let alone Q and P? So if I've just got a really good idea, do I have to have if I wanted to create a product, do I have to have a prototype?
You don't, just a concept. You can just have a concept, and as long as you can back it up and basically explain why you think it would be successful if it launched, that's really all you need.
And who is eligible to apply for this challenge?
So we're looking for anyone that has an idea that could be developed into a product or service. A second category is those that are beyond the idea stage. They actually have a product or service. They just haven't initiated operations yet. And so what they need to do is describe their product or service, what's their secret sauce, their competitive advantage, or their unique offering. And so they can go ahead and explain how they would get the business launched. And then we've expanded in the last 3 years or so, we've expanded to include those that have actually started their business and they may have revenue. We can say that they can have up to $150,000 in annual revenue. But for those, they're not pure startups. They're early stage companies. And what we want them to do in the challenge process is to say, how are you going to get that $100,000 of revenue you have and maybe make it $500,000 or $750,000? So they have to have an idea that will actually rapidly increase their sales and their reach and the ability to, take on people and actually take root in the community and contribute to our economic base.
Who can't apply?
So there are a few exclusions, not very many, but basically brick and mortar retail, typically, unless there is significant expansion potential outside of our local area, usually those are not perfect candidates. I still encourage them to apply because we may be able to find other resources from them. And we've actually had a limited amount of activity in judges selecting a retail operation. But basically, those are usually types of businesses that are not encouraged to apply or not encouraged to move forward in the process. Franchises, if you have a franchise and they're managed out of Chicago or out of Dallas,
they pretty much already have a business.
Exactly.
They?
So the franchisor will determine how they're going to run their business and what products they're going to offer and how their logo looks and so on. And then any real estate operations, investor groups or syndications, typically that's not something that is going to be a business that we can develop within the incubator, so we usually exclude those as well.
During this entire process, from the time that I apply to the time that let's say I'm selected for the pitch night, is there a section where I basically have to pitch directly just to certain individuals and then sit there through a Q&A process about maybe I'm not thinking about the whole picture and you're like, well, what about this? What about X and Y?
Right. So to give you an example, last year we had 40 applicants. The judges got together and they have access to the applications as soon as the application period closes, which is September 19th this year. They have online access. They will go through and kind of group hey, these are the ones I would really like to have considered. These are the ones I want to discuss. And these are the ones that, hey, Impact 307, we're not going to select these, but we would like you to help find them some resources of how they can continue to develop their plan and start their business. So we get it down to about 10. We actually had 11 semifinalists last year. The judges couldn't decide on the 10, so we decided to include one additional one. At that point, the semifinalists will get together and with the judges, we invite them into our office and they actually do a mini pitch proposal of what they've put together so far. And so they go through the process. There's judges that will answer or pose questions. The semifinalists will respond to those. Then the judges take the results of the semifinal round and they select the finalists from there. So the top 10 or so will actually have to go through a Q&A, but that's good. That they end up getting a lot of good feedback from, hey, these are some things that you should consider if you're going to continue to try to develop this idea into a real business. So
who's on that panel?
We have a number of judges. We look for community leaders. We look for entrepreneurs that have been successful in starting businesses. So to give you an example, Jesus Rios, he is the president and CEO of PDS. It's
great guy. Love that
IT
guy.
services company here in town. I think he's been a judge for almost every year that we have had the challenge. And so he's going to be back this year. We have a new judge, Annie Magera. She is a serial entrepreneur. She is one of the owners of Carol's Furniture in town. We have Laura Lehan. She is the founder of Peak Consulting. I think she's been a judge for several years for us. We have Tim Barnes, Blacktooth Brewing. Brady Lewis is going to be a new judge for us this year. He's the president and CEO of WWC Engineering. Who have I left out? Jeremy Scott. He is a serial entrepreneur himself. and part of the Scott Foundation. And then one additional judge we have this year, Chelsea Paulus, is the founder of Connect Speech Therapy. She is resident in our incubator. She was a 2018 winner of the Startup Challenge. I said, hey, you've been out for a few years. You've seen what it takes to start a business from the ground up. Would you be on our judge panel? And she said, yeah, I'd be happy to do that. So what we do is we look for people that have been through the process, that can really advise. And it really is an advisory element to the Startup Challenge, because the applicants get feedback from the judges who have been there. And they've had the successes, they've had the challenges, and the applicants get a lot of enrichment in terms of what they're trying to develop just by interacting with the judges.
And it sounds like this judge panel is made up of individuals who've seen those roadblocks in building a small business. And as any small business owner would know, sometimes those roadblocks are pretty invisible until you're standing right in front of them and having to overcome those. So that's great to hear. Now, is there any kind of fee in applying for this program at all? Do I have to pay anything, any kind of deposit or anything like that?
No, actually, it's completely free. Very simple, 7 basic questions, and the nice thing about it is, even if you're not a perfect fit for Impact 307, it's not a scalable or growth-oriented type of business, they will provide referrals to you. So it doesn't hurt to apply. It would behoove you to apply anyways, and, they'll help you out either way.
Even if you don't get towards the end, the knowledge that you're taking away from this is priceless. The experience from the judges, individuals telling you, hey, have you thought about this? Have you thought about that? I mean, having an entire panel of professionals basically sit with you for a Q&A of your small business, that's invaluable.
Yeah, and you really have nothing to lose. You might as well just apply and, just put yourself out there.
That's what small business owners do every day. All right, when we return, we're going to continue with Sheridan Impact 307. This Public Pulse on 930 KROE, 103.9 FM, Sheridan.
At Eliason Financial, money management isn't just about dollars and cents. It's about dreams and opportunities, and more importantly, family. We'll take time to get to know you. Then we'll develop a unique wealth management plan that works hard, just like you. To learn more about who we are and what our wealth management advisors can do for you, visit Eliason Financial online or call 307-672-3010. Securities offered through Royal Alliance Associates, Inc., member FINRA, SIPC.
Have you heard? Sheridan's own VacuTech is growing, and they're hiring powder coaters, machine operators, welders, and more. With great opportunities for advancement, working at VacuTech is much more than just a job, it's a career. VacuTech offers outstanding benefits, including comprehensive health, dental and vision coverage, matching 401k, paid time off, and relocation assistance. Not to mention top-notch compensation. For more information and to apply, visit VacuTech's open opportunities page on their website at VacuTechLLC.com.
What are you doing this Labor Day weekend? Hi, Kurt Smith here for the Sheridan Commercial Company. If you have projects lined out for the weekend, we'll be open and ready to help. Our staff will help you get the right products for your project at the Sheridan Commercial Company. Painting, plumbing, or lawn and garden work, we know you have a choice, and we thank you for shopping at the Sheridan Commercial Company. We're open all weekend long for whatever you need help with. The Sheridan Commercial Company at 303 Broadway.
Who's thinking about that final camping trip or drive through the mountains over Labor Day? Hi, this is Matt with Homestar, and we're back with our third gas card sweepstakes. 3 lucky winners will each win a $100 gas card from Farmers Co-op. Perfect for Labor Day weekend. Just go to the contest page on SheridanMedia.com and enter every day through August 31st. Remember, we'll have 3 winners, each winning a $100 gas card. Good luck from all of us at Homestar Mortgage, the easiest way home. We're locally operated right here in Sheridan, located at 30 Grinnell Plaza.
Lotto fever hit again the other day, and the old saying goes, you gotta be in it to win. Hi, this is Brad at Prime Rate Motors, where your chances to be a good deal winner are 100%, not 1 in 25 million. Stop in and let us show you a vehicle that fits your lifestyle from our wide selection of certified and used cars, trucks, and SUVs from leading brands like Ford, Chevrolet, Honda, and more, creating a hassle-free experience where your needs come first. Prime Rate Motors and Super Trailer Store, 2305 Coffin Avenue in Sheridan.
Habitat for Humanity operations are relocating. This means Habitat Restore's having a huge sale through the end of August. Everything must go. They have way too much to move. Visit the Habitat Restore facility at 1141 Crook Street in Sheridan and take advantage of the awesome savings while they last and before they move. Habitat Restore, open Monday through Saturday from 9 to 5.
Good morning and welcome back to Public Pulse, brought to you by our friends out there at Elias Financial. I'm Floyd Whiting, and this morning I am joined by Impact 307 Sheridan Business Incubator Director Scott Rendell and Statewide Marketing Coordinator Jessica Madden. We're discussing the 2022 Startup Challenge. Folks, if you've got an idea, this isn't going to cost you anything. Just jump on there and you can apply to be a part of this, and the more applicants, the better. You never know until you take that chance. Maybe that idea is exactly what someone's looking for. Now, Jesse, it doesn't cost anything to apply, and there's a lot of locations. If someone just joined us, give them the location that they need to go to apply for this challenge.
Sure. So SheridanMedia.com, there is a permanent banner on the front page. People can apply there. Also, our website, impact307.org, under Startup Challenges and Sheridan Startup Challenge, you can apply there. Also, we are on social media, so I encourage everyone to like and follow our page. And you can apply on LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram.
Now, and I'm running out of time, but I want people to know, what does participating in this challenge do for these budding entrepreneurs? Even if they don't get all the way to the end, what do they get?
That's a really good question. And so we talked a little bit about that, but I want to add that everyone gets offered business counseling that goes through this application process. So every applicant is reviewed, and I reach out personally to each person. Even if they don't progress in the competition, they are offered an opportunity to come in with me to meet with us, and I will meet with them throughout the year. And then in addition, the Small Business Development Center in Wyoming has a tremendous number of resources for startup and early stage businesses as well. And so we invite our regional director of the SBDC to also come in and provide all the things that they can do to assist. And so everyone will benefit. If they have an idea that they want to continue, whether or not they progress in the challenge, they will get offered resources that will help them on their journey.
And I'll tell you what, folks, in this day and age, starting a small business, it just seems to get more and more challenging every day. Now, what are the winners of this challenge going to receive?
So the three winners will actually have access to a $100,000 seed fund. They get $5,000 of the $100,000. The three winners get $5,000 each on pitch night, and so they are offered that as an incentive to kind of get going, get their business registered, get some of their formational details in place, and then in January of the following year, so this year would be January 2023, after the November challenge, the three winners will get back together in front of the same panel of judges that judged at pitch night, and they will update the judges on progress that they're making on their plans, what they've discovered, where their challenges are, and then specifically what their appeals are for funding that would help them along, get their business plan along further. And so the judges will take all of the asks and decide from there how to apportion the balance of the seed fund that remains. So that is a process that really will take place about 3 months after the initial pitch night. The judges really like to see continuous progress, and so each of the three winners need to demonstrate that they're all in, they're committed to executing on their plan, and then if they receive certain funds for activities or things that they need to invest in to kind of get it going, the judges will award that funding accordingly.
Do we have pitch night scheduled as of yet?
We do. So pitch night is going to be November 1st, and it's going to be at the WYO Theater. All except the COVID year. We had no public audience for the COVID year, but every other year it's been at the WYO. It's a tremendous venue. We will be back in October talking a lot about that. We will also, for the third year, have a live stream of the program by Sheridan Media. So last year, I think we had almost 1,000 views on pitch night and a few hundred views after pitch night for people that want to go back and review the program. So Sheridan Media has been a tremendous help and resource to us in getting the details of the Startup Challenge out.
Well, I'll tell you what, people here in Sheridan County, all those views, I could almost guarantee were done by individuals that are just trying to send, the old good vibes, hoping for the best, because one thing that we love to see around here is other people succeed. Folks, I greatly appreciate you coming in and talking with me this morning, and all the best. I hope a lot of people apply for the 2022 Startup Challenge.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you, Floyd. Really appreciate it.
All right, when we return, we're going to speak with Sheridan County Emergency Management. This is Public Pulse on 930 KROE and 103.9 FM. Sheridan.
At Eliason Financial, money management isn't just about dollars and cents. It's about dreams and opportunities, and more importantly, family. We'll take time to get to know you. Then we'll develop a unique wealth management plan that works hard, just like you. To learn more about who we are and what our wealth management advisors can do for you, visit Eliason Financial online or call 307-672-3010. Securities offered through Royal Alliance Associates, Inc., member FINRA, SIPC.
Hi, this is Chance Harris.
And I'm Laura Witchick. Did you know Harker Mellinger provides services to help you with your payroll and accounting problems or business concerns?
Schedule an appointment today to discuss how our professional staff can find the solutions that work best for you.
Harker Mellinger has been providing quality service for Sheridan area businesses for over 37 years.
Remember, you get our exclusive fixed fee, 1 monthly fee, unlimited phone calls and meetings. Call Harker Mellinger today, 672-0785.
The owners and staff at Kane's Funeral Home would like to thank the families of Sheridan and Johnson counties for choosing Kane's and allowing them to serve you during these hard times. Kane Funeral Home makes it their mission to take the stress and uncertainty out of ceremonial services. They own and operate the only crematory in Sheridan County, so your loved one is always in their care. Kane's Funeral Home. Call 673-5837 or visit them online at canefuneral.com.
Sheridan Orthopedic Associates continues its over 50-year tradition of surgical excellence in Northeast Wyoming and Southern Montana with the addition of Dr. Jory Wasserberger, a Wyoming native, and fellowship trained at the Mayo Clinic in Orthopedic Sports Medicine. Dr. Wasserberger joins a team of highly rated surgeons providing spine, sports, hand, hip, knee, and shoulder surgery, joint replacement, and more, including emergency care 24/7, 365 days a year. Visit us at SheridanOrtho.com to learn more.
No! Crashing sucks. Do you trust your tires and brakes to protect you? Tires and brakes are crucial to the safety of your vehicle. Midas Tire and Auto can help. They'll inspect your vehicle, let you know what needs attention and what can wait. Plus, right now, you can save up to $170 on a set of 4 Cooper tires and $50 on brake service. Midas Tire and Auto, your first stop for brakes and tires on East Brundage Lane in Sheridan.
Chris Hayden from Hammer Chevrolet. Summer heat is here.
It certainly is, Bob. Is your vehicle's air conditioning system keeping you cool? If not, why wait until you and the family are hot and uncomfortable on vacation to have it serviced? Call Hammer Chevrolet today for an appointment. We have the latest in air conditioning service equipment, and our factory-trained technicians can get the interior of your vehicle cooled down quickly.
Don't suffer in your car. Get your AC service today at Hammer Chevrolet, 107 East Downer. Online, hammerchevy.com.
Good morning and welcome back to Public Pulse, brought to you by our friends out there at Eliason Financial. I'm Floyd Whiting. For the second part of the show this morning, I am joined by Sheridan County Emergency Management Coordinator, Jesse Ludikaus. Good morning, Jesse.
Good morning.
Now, I said that name right, didn't I?
You did. I'm quite impressed, actually.
We get a lot of press releases from you. You're very great about staying in contact with the public, and every time I get a release from you, I say that name out loud.
Perfect.
I served with a Cirknovich, and we just used to call him Crank. Just shorten it up. Now, how's your summer been so far, Jesse?
It's been great, and I just wanted to thank you for having me on again, and I know that the listening public, including myself, really appreciate the fact that you put this on, your team does. So it's great, and it gets information out to everybody in a way that I think is very important. So I appreciate the service that you do.
Thank you. I whatever help I can be, I want to be, and I understand. To an extent, maybe not to your extent, but I understand the need for drills, exercises, things that we have to apply here within the county to ensure that when something does go wrong, we are ready. Readiness is a big issue with me. And folks, you're going to be a part of this because in a partnership between Sheridan County, Homeland Security, and the FCC, a test of the Wireless Information Alert System will be conducted. This is going to be a live test. What is this test going to entail, Jesse?
Yeah, so the FCC reached out to Homeland Security and to emergency management coordinators throughout the whole United States. And they have a wireless emergency alert system that they've had for many years, but this is the third test that they've conducted, each one of them more broad than the prior tests. And so what they are testing in this particular capability is that we have access to, as emergency management coordinators and the police department at the Joint Dispatch Center, if there is an alert that needs to go out to everyone's cell phone, I can draw on a map a geographical area that I want those alerts to go out to.
Wow.
So, to really pinpoint the location. And so, but that capability of restricting it to a geographical location has been used, but it's never been tested to see how effective it is. So that's the reason for the test that the FCC is trying to conduct, is they're trying to see is it working as it's actually intended to produce. And so that was the reason for this particular request and test. And so when we saw that come across, the commissioners were very quick to jump on board.
Yeah, I would think, yeah.
Yeah, and they were happy to participate and partner with them. And there's going to be about 50 other different locations throughout the United States that will be conducting this test at near the same time.
Now, is this for all cell phones? Is this going to come across all cell phones, or just those that are like utilizing a program like the Code Red system?
Yeah, so Code Red is something that I do encourage everybody to sign up for, but that is for information that's sent out that's not maybe as high of a level of an emergency.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So Code Red is just public information maybe, or public warning information. This particular wireless alert system that we have access to is a higher level in that it pushes to everybody's cell phone in regardless of what you have on there.
Just if you're in that geographical location, it's a coming.
That's correct. Kind of like an Amber Alert, or the National Weather Service sends out their alerts. You can turn off those alerts in the settings of your phone also, but most people don't turn off the ones that are from the wireless alert system.
Yeah.
So it's buried a little bit deeper in your settings. And so, and I definitely would not turn those off, because if those are being used, it's usually like shelter in place. You need to evacuate.
A big emergency.
Yes. Something you need to know right now.
And just for instance, what type of emergency would you use this particular system for? A shelter-in-place situation would be like a flood or a fire?
Yeah, so a shelter in place, maybe if there was a hazmat release, would probably be something that we would utilize that for. If
And
there
we've
was a
got
train derailment
yeah.
or something that took place, and we needed people to shelter in place and to maybe close their windows and stay indoors, that would be something. Or another reason we'd use this is for an evacuation. If there was a fire approaching, then maybe we would send out an alert to evacuate a particular location. Whether that's a city or county or somewhere else.
And Jesse, I'm so glad that you brought up the hazmat, because it's something that, thank God, doesn't happen often, but it is something that we need to be concerned about. And we do have the railroad, and we do have the freeway, and hazardous materials are transported on wheels every day. And so that's great that you bring that up, that can occur. It's not something that we're looking forward to. It's not something that happens often, but the chance is there, and we need to be ready to respond to that. And now, when will this particular test take place?
Yeah, so the test will take place on September 13th at 10 a.m. Anybody that is within 1.5 square miles around the courthouse will receive this alert on their cell phone. And so that's why I'm here today, is to let the public know that if you're in that geographical area, in that circle area, you will be receiving an alert on your cell phone. And in the alert, it will say that this is just a test. And then it will have a link to a FCC website. And it will ask the people that receive the alert to do a very short survey. The survey will ask questions such as, like, where were you located when you got the alert? Maybe what time it was, what type of cell phone device do you have? They'll ask that question, and they're going to ask what carrier you have. So, and there is some spillover effect that will take place. So the cell phone carriers are required to extend the geographical area that I outlined by at least, at minimum, 1/10 of a mile greater than the area that I outlined, just to make sure that it covers the location that I've selected. And so they're trying to also test that. So you may be outside that zone and receive the alert, and that's information that they want to know. So we're asking the public that if you do receive the alert, to click on that survey link and to complete it. And the more data we get, the better for us to really understand the capability of that program. Absolutely. And these questions are important, because if they're getting something, if they're getting responses from a bunch of people who carry, say, iPhones, and not getting a bunch of responses from individuals who carry, say, Samsungs or something else, then they know that the problem exists that they need to fix. So, folks, on December 13th at 10 a.m., if you get this message, and I will remind you in the newsroom, I'll make sure to get this alert up, probably the day before, maybe the week before. Answer those questions in that survey. This is all part of a system that we need to get tested. We need to ensure that individuals are getting this information in a timely manner. Now, Jesse, is there anything else about the test that you would like to go over? Yeah, I just want to point out, too, that there is a backup date of September 19th at 10 o'clock. That way, if there's something major going on during the test date, we don't want to send out a test alert if there's an actual possible emergency. Yes. So we do have a backup date. We don't anticipate using that, but there is one just in case. So now, other things that emergency management is handling, the Story sirens. What's going on up there? Yeah, so the city of Story does have one fire siren, and that's to warn people of an evacuation or a pending fire coming towards their location. Combined dispatch at the Sheridan Police Department can send a signal, or it can be turned on manually at the fire station, and a loud siren sounds to let them know. The problem is that particular siren is not large enough and doesn't encompass all of the town area because of the way the mountains are and the trees and stuff. You can't hear it in some of the areas. So we did receive a grant that will allow us to install a second siren up in the town of Story. So we used the same grant to install a new siren in the town of Dayton this last year. And so that's a 100% grant that will be funded and will allow us to have a second siren put in place up there in the story.
Well, that's fantastic. When do you think that'll probably end up going in?
I'm going to guess probably in the springtime. We'll try to get the equipment and the things ordered. And then, spring or summer, we'll try to get that installed.
So Story might have a couple tests of their own.
Yes.
Yeah.
And with that, we did just have Story Days, and a lot of people donated to the fire department during their pancake breakfast.
Oh, that is great.
And they had over $10,000 in donations, which was the largest take that they've had for that pancake breakfast before. So they are very grateful. And they use a lot of those funds to help fund the relocation of the current siren or to supplement any costs that weren't covered by the grant. And they just installed a whole bunch of evacuation signs and are partnering with private business or private property owners up there so that there's shelter in place locations that are in large open fields. And so they got signs and things like that. So that money is really going towards good use. And I know from the fire department up there, they really appreciate all the donations that came in over this last weekend. And it really does go to help many different things that are going on in Story to help prepare in case there is a fire issue there.
And I do know that there has been instances in the past, up in Story where fires got a little close. I think in one situation, not even that long ago, it was right outside of town, if I remember correctly. So there is absolutely a risk. And I greatly appreciate individuals who've donated to ensure the safety of others. It's fantastic cause. Now, your office is about to get a new employee.
That's correct.
And I love hearing this because this is a very special employee. Can you tell us about the Bomb Dog?
Yeah, so we did get preliminary awarded a grant that is the same grant. It's a 100% grant in which we will be receiving, my office, I'll be getting a new Bomb Dog here hopefully in the next few months as we prepare for that. And so it's a great asset here for the north part of the state of Wyoming. We don't have any bomb dogs up in this area. So it'll be a new capability that we have. And plus it'll make going to the office a little bit better every day.
Every day, right?
That's right.
Now, when it comes to him, how will he be utilized throughout the year?
So obviously there's a lot of training that takes place and certifications to make sure that he continues to keep up on his, that he'll alert to those issues that could be explosive materials. And so, but there's a lot of times that we need the bomb dog to be able to maybe check a location. Let's say, for example, like when we have parades and things like that, we do a sweep with a bomb dog to make sure there's no explosives. Anytime some dignitaries, the governor, or other people are having an event in a building, then a lot of times it's good to have, just go through and make sure that there's no explosive materials in there. And so as of now, they've been bringing up a dog from the, Cheyenne area, Lander and things like that to come do those. And it's very expensive.
I could only imagine.
Yeah, so they're very excited to have this capability here to be able to do that.
When's his first day? Do you know yet?
I don't know. They haven't even, the grant is just being released in this next month. And so, it's a $126,000 grant that we got to be able to purchase a dog, to get a new vehicle, to train the dog, to get the training aids that we need, all those kind of things. And my salary during that time is all covered through the grant. So the only thing the county has to pay for is they've got to pay for dog food and they've got to pay for vet bills if there's any of those. But besides for that, the grant pays for the rest of it.
That's fantastic.
Yes.
Now, you're going to be the handler?
That is correct, yes.
Do you have to go to any kind of special school and get, well, you already said you have to be certified. Are you trained or will you be trained?
No, I'll be trained. And so what we'll do is we will bring in a trainer for that is going to actually be the one that selects the dog. I told him I want a lab, so he's going to get me a lab. he'll do the initial training of the dog, and then he'll come out here, and for 3 weeks straight, including weekends, that's all we'll do is just we'll constantly work with the dog and get trained and certified in doing explosives.
That's fantastic.
They like to do the training here because this is the environment that the dog will be working in.
His
so
home?
it doesn't do good to train somewhere else and
Yeah.
then that not be where all the odors are that would be common for the dog to be working in anyways.
That's fascinating to think about. I wouldn't have even thought of that. I thought maybe they'd have taken you to a school, but you're right. The sights, the sounds, the smells. He's got to know this is normal.
Right.
You know, the clip clop of the horse is a normal thing to hear on parade day. This is a normal. Following the governor around on the back of a horse is a normal day.
That's right.
I mean,
Exactly.
You're not going to get much of that at a school. Now, moving on, recently a mass casualty exercise was conducted at the Sheridan County Airport. Jesse, who was involved in this exercise? This was pretty big.
Yeah, it was. We had the police department and the sheriff's department. We had the fire departments were all involved, including the city fire department. And so there was, obviously the airport staff were involved. And then we had a lot of volunteers that came from the community that really helped to make it actually work. The VA was also involved in using some of their equipment and facilities too.
That's fantastic. What was the scenario that they had to react to?
So the scenario was a bird strike on one of the engines on one of the approaching planes that would come in, that we have come in on a regular basis, and that the plane crashed on approach because of a bird strike. And so really the scenario was how we would respond in dealing with the fire that would likely ensue from that, and then dealing with the, injuries and casualties that would be on the aircraft itself.
When you set up the fuselage, what did you use for a fuselage? Because I would guess you can't just park a plane out there.
As much as we would like to, no, that's not
Right?
not possible. There's so actually that was part of the VA's help with us is they have a large bus that they utilize, and so for patient transport and things like that. And so they were kind enough to bring that out to the airport, and we used a full-size bus as the fuselage.
Now, I know the AAR, the after action review, is not yet completed. We're still looking at stuff. But what would you say were the first two most important lessons that we learned that day?
Oh, nothing goes as planned. So,
yes.
Yeah, so the first thing to happen, first thing in the morning, we're supposed to be meeting at Rocky Mountain Ambulance to get our volunteers all their makeup and everything else. And we have a what we call moulage, which is all the cool makeup and stuff that we do and the prosthetics that they do for this. And our person that we were scheduled to have just didn't show up. Just wasn't there.
No moulage.
We had we had nothing. And so that is the key to the rest of the thing, because that includes like what the patients were injured and stuff. And so we ended up kind of winging it there and using the kind volunteers to put makeup on each other. A whole bunch of women got involved and
oh, great.
Busted out the makeup. We ran down to Walmart and other places and got some makeup real quick and threw it all together. So, but we did learn too that just minor things in that the airport needed to update some of their radios so that they had more recent, communications and certain updates to their systems. So we did that before the exercise, which was great, hadn't been done. And then we also looked at, just simple things like parking the vehicles, how we park the vehicles on the field, where it was another important thing that we did.
And these things, the public out there might not realize this, but even in the military, I was drilled on how to park your vehicle because it is vital. A, it's not in the way. B, it's accessible. I can still get to it. I can still use the equipment on it, but it's not creating another hazard. These little things that we don't see, you guys are always paying a lot of attention to. Overall, the performance of everybody up there, exemplary?
Yeah, no, it was great. I mean, we were hoping to have a life flight come in and land a helicopter during our exercise, but they had maintenance issues.
Yeah.
So yeah, again, things don't always go as planned.
When you're holding an exercise, you don't want to create a real hazard.
That's correct.
Right. Well, Jesse, I want to thank you for coming in today. I greatly appreciate it. Thank you for everything that you guys do up there at Sheridan County Emergency Management.
Yeah, there's a lot of information on my webpage, and there's an email link, so you can send me an email if anybody has any questions about the test. And then I did send you a PDF of the actual map location of where we're doing the test. So I'm assuming you'll put that up on your website.
Yep, we
so
will.
People can look on in there to see exactly where that test is going to be conducted.
Thank you so much, Jesse.
Absolutely.
All right, you've been listening to Public Pulse on 930 KROE and 103.9 FM. Sheridan.